Guitar Champion, we are continuing with my series of checking out some pretty cool Ibanez guitars, and today I have for you the AS93BC-BK. And today I will give you 3 reasons why everybody should have a guitar like this, especially the shred and metal guys. Hey Guitar Champion, what's going on? Your number here, back from my practice cave, and welcome to today's video. Yes, I have for you here now a really cool and beautiful jazz blues guitar, and I'm a huge fan of these kind of guitars. In fact, I've played a similar guitar, wait a second, this one here, the Epiphone Sheraton, for more than 4 years as my main guitar. Some of you guys might know from 2012 to 2017 I've studied jazz guitar here in Frankfurt, Germany, and at that time I was no metalhead at all. I had kind of short hair and I was playing jazz all day long, playing bebop and Pat Metino lines and Alan Holdsworth's fusion stuff, Frank Gambale, Ted Green, Wes Montgomery. Huge fan and huge jazz nerd back in the day. And even though that after graduating I said to myself, nah, I want to become a professional shred metal guitar player and shred metal guitar teacher, because that's where my heart belongs, because that's where I started to play guitar and started to develop that love for this instrument. I have some sort of history with these kind of guitars. And not only history, but I love to play on these guitars on a regular basis, even my metal and shred stuff. And I will tell you today why, and why this guitar is really perfect for everybody who wants to have a starter kind of jazz and blues guitar. Speaking of starting, before we start with the video, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Shure, because they provided me with this really cool MV7-1 microphone, a microphone with an interface already built in the microphone, and where you have the ability, you can see it in the back, to put in another microphone. So perfect for some of my future interview plans that I have here for this channel. So a huge shout out to Shure and everybody who is into streaming or who wants to start a podcast or something like that. I can only recommend this microphone, the Shure MV7-1. Check the link in the description box for more. So the first reason why I think everybody should have a guitar like this is because it is just a huge inspiration to start learning jazz and blues. And I have to say, when you want to be a modern guitar player, doesn't matter if metal or shred or pop or whatever, there will be a point in time where you have to face yourself with blues and jazz. And I highly recommend to everybody to learn blues, because blues is the basic of improvisation, the basic of harmonic understanding and harmonic movement. And also learning the blues is extremely helpful for phrasing, bending, vibrato, and timing. It changed my whole playing when I started to dig really into blues. And the next thing is to check out jazz, because those 4 years studying jazz and bebop helped me to gain or to develop a certain freedom on the fretboard that I never really got while playing metal. Because you go more into the sphere of harmonic thinking, intervallic thinking, all these kind of methods to navigate through the space on your fretboard rather than the 3-note per string scale. Don't get me wrong, I love the 3-note per string scale. For economic playing, it's the best, but for improvisation, thinking more on intervals is the absolute game changer. It helped my playing so much, and this is why I always recommend learn jazz, learn the movement of harmony, the function of harmony, and the meaning and the relation of intervals. And I have to be honest, I tried playing jazz on a metal guitar. In fact, I've played on a jazz rock record called the Rüffer Fractal band. You can find the Spotify link in the description box. Even though that these songs are beautiful written and the work of the bassist Rüffer and the piano player 𝙤𝙤𝙢𝙚𝙤𝙠 is just phenomenal, really beautiful, my guitar work is not my best work. And you will maybe understand when I always tell here on this channel that my technique has skyrocketed in the last 5 years, because you can hear it on that record. It's from 2018 and my technique was not good at all. No. And I played on that record, on a jazz rock record, with a Dean Rusty Cooley 7-string signature guitar with bare knuckle pickups and alien inlays. Nah, it is a crazy ass shred guitar, definitely, but definitely not the best guitar to get in the spirit of blues or jazz, or the combination of that, jazz rock. So nowadays would definitely play jazz rock on a guitar more like this than on a BC Rich, or in this case a Dean. So this guitar is a good start to get inspired learning this music. So let's check out some specs of that guitar, shall we? The neck type is an AS Expressionist 3-piece Niato maple neck, satin neck, ebony fretboard, acrylic block inlays, medium frets, and the number of frets is 22. Bridge is a Gibraltar bridge, which I really love for these kind of guitars. And as the pickups, we have the Super 48 in the bridge and in the neck. So the specs are actually pretty basic in this guitar, but hey, you don't need a Floyd Rose or a 5-piece with a 3-neck on these kind of guitars. Even though that sounds quite interesting. I wonder... No, never mind. But on these kind of guitars, simplicity is the key. And while the pickups from my Sheraton guitar, for example, are having a lot of feedback problems, with these pickups, I don't have any feedback problem when playing high distorted gain sounds on this guitar. And I will tell you in reason number 2 why I play high distorted gain sounds on this guitar. Because reason number 2 why everybody should have a guitar like this is it's an extremely good practice tool, to be honest. You know, the strings that I have here on that guitar are 12th, which is really fucking thick. And it really helps to gain in my left hand endurance, strength, but also precision, because the strings are much harder to push down. Sometimes it is really good to get out of your comfort zone, and especially in our practice routine, we sometimes have to push ourselves a little bit. And that's a really cool way to sometimes see and there push us in a direction that we sometimes never really think about. This guitar is definitely limiting for somebody like me, who is used to play 7-string with a 3 kind of high-speed Ibanez guitars, but limitation can lead to expansion, and I can expand my vocabulary and my technique here on this guitar pretty well. I love this guitar as well as a little warm-up guitar. Every time when I start my practice routine, I take this guitar and I do my picking exercises and my left-hand exercises on this guitar, and after doing it for a few minutes, I'm definitely ready for the world of shred on other guitars. And you know, when you can shred on a thing like this, you can definitely shred on a normal guitar. I mean, there's only one level which is harder to play on guitar, and I would say it's more like an acoustic or maybe even a gypsy jazz guitar. And I have a case in my floor that, I don't know, that's something for the future, but not for now. So before we go into reason number 3, let's check out some sound details of that guitar. Okay, reason number 3 is I like to play these kind of guitars more for blues and for jazz than a single body guitar, because I think the natural acoustic that hollow body guitars like this one here, or semi-acoustic like these guitars here, they are a little bit more fitting for the style of jazz and blues. So I rather take my AZ, which is on the there where my head is pointing to, more for funk or fusion or pop kind of thing. But whenever I should do a blues or a jazz gig, which are my plans for the future actually, I want to go a little bit more into the jazz thing again, I definitely would choose a guitar like this. And now I have to say, for around 730 euros, that's a really good guitar, which is still affordable, under 1,000 bucks. I cannot complain, but with no feedback problems, with extremely great playability, with a really good neck. And this is, I would say, a little bit more going to be my go-to jazz guitar in the future because, yeah, I'm flexible with that guitar. I can play jazz, I can play bebop, but I also can play blues and fusion. So highly, highly recommend to check out that guitar whenever you can. And I highly recommend to everybody, of course, to check out the concepts of jazz and blues because it can only expand your vocabulary and improve your guitar playing. And so much for this week's little gear review of another really cool Ibanez guitar. A few more are coming in the future. I mean, I'm an Ibanez artist. I'm an Ibanez endorser. And that's for a reason, because I love this guitar. And I want to support that company, of course. So I want to share my love with these guitar here on the channel. So if you are not an Ibanez fan, maybe you will become one in the future, or this is not your thing. But I will try to represent here all the Ibanez fans in the world. And with that, I want to wish you a really good time. Cheers. Power your progress. Goodbye.